Hello, welcome to Getting Started With, where our job is to make your job easier. On this episode, we're getting started with sampling. In this video, you'll get tips and answers on all of the basics you need to know for selecting a sample, such as the purpose of sampling, selecting the right sample size, and different types of sampling methodologies. So, let's get started. The purpose of audit sampling is to be able to express an opinion over a population of items, such as transactions, people, or pool noodles, without having to audit every single item in that population. You want to ultimately select a sample that, if extrapolated over the entire population, will accurately reflect the conclusion you come to. There are mathematical ways of calculating a sample to achieve a desired level of confidence. Some of you may be having flashbacks to your college economics course right about now, but don't worry, here's a time saver. As an internal auditor, it is likely your firm will already have sampling guidelines for you to follow. Your sample size can be impacted by many different factors. The most common of factors is the total number of items in your population. This will obviously vary depending on what you are auditing, but can be the number of transactions over a period of time, badge swipes, or a specific task designed to occur at a set frequency. Sometimes, this frequency is an action or task which occurs at a certain interval of time. For example, think of a monthly bank reconciliation that happens once a month, so you would expect to see 12 of them per year. Your sampling guidance may suggest you select 2 or 3 months out of the 12 to achieve your desired level of confidence. Your sample size can be higher or lower depending on your audit objectives and the risk level you assign to the population you are auditing. Using our monthly bank reconciliation example from earlier, if the risk is high, you will likely need to select more samples, in this case 3, than if you had deemed the risk low. If it was low, you may only need to select 2 to achieve your audit objectives. If a process is automated, meaning there's no human involved in the performance of the control, you may be able to select a sample as low as 1, despite thousands of occurrences. This is because technology can consistently repeat a process in the same way that a human doing something manually cannot. Computers aren't affected by getting tired or making a typo. Therefore, you only need to ensure that technology worked as intended. Next, let's discuss some common types of sampling. Random sampling is when all of the items in a population have the same chance of being selected, whether it's $1 or 1 million. To accomplish this, assign each item in your population a number and use a random number generator until your population is selected. Random sampling is best used when you want an unbiased view of an entire population. For systematic sampling, you'll need to do a little math by taking the number of items in your population and dividing it by your desired sample size. If you have a desired sample of 10 and a population of 100, you'll arrive at an interval of 10. You randomly select the first sample, let's say 5, then select samples 5, 15, 25, 35, and so on. This method of sampling is typically easier to implement than pure random sampling and is useful when there may be patterns in the population or if you want to observe the population over a time period. Weighted unit sampling, sometimes called monetary unit sampling, is used when you want to target higher values in your population. The easiest way to break this down is to attribute each dollar as a unit and then randomly select each unit for sampling. If you select the same one, you can pick again until you reach your desired sample size. Using this method, higher value items will have a greater likelihood of being selected, which is useful for detecting material misstatements. Stratified sampling is when you separate your population into subgroups based on one or more characteristics, such as dollar amount or color. Then, select a number from each to arrive at a representative sample of the population. This sampling is best utilized when you want to ensure your sample includes the characteristics in your subgroups. It can be useful when searching for fraud to target suspected individuals. Judgmental sampling, also referred to as haphazard sampling, is a non-scientific method that relies on a level of auditor judgment to select samples. You might use this method when your population is limited or you are doing preliminary research. Auditors should always strive to use reasonable methods that ensure their conclusions are accurate. Here's a pro tip. No matter which sampling method you choose, always be able to justify the reason why you chose it. Always keep the objective of sampling in mind. which is to provide a reasonable basis for the auditor to draw a conclusion on all of the items you selected from earlier. Congratulations on completing Getting Started with Sampling. Thank you for watching. There's so much more to learn. On the next screen, you'll see links to suggested videos to view next.